Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the 50-Day Property Challenge. It's been an awesome ride so far. We are now already we're almost at the end of week 8, which means we only have 2 more weeks to go. Today, we're catching up with Jared. Talk about, hey Jared, we're going to talk about his progress again. He's been really busy, not only on the challenge itself, but also extremely busy in his life, being called up to a number of gigs, which is great at this time, after such a long period when nothing was happening. All of a sudden, you're busy, and I'm very glad for you, Jared, that you are so busy now. But yeah, that's kept you almost, it's been difficult for you to actually partake in this 50-day challenge because you've been so busy, and you've been really gracious, and I thank you for that in terms of the time that you've given us, despite your extremely busy schedule.
No, it's been a challenge, not just a 50-day challenge. I think for everybody, now that things have opened up a bit more, there are a lot more business opportunities, which is great, which means we accumulate more funds to be able to invest in property. So it's been a busy time, but I've been sure to allocate a few hours at least to focusing on the portfolio and what I want to do next.
Fantastic. Look, I mean, at the end of the day, when we invest in property, it's not about necessarily, and we've had conversations about some of our students who are binge watching the videos, and they are deciding to do this full time as property investors. Most of us don't have the luxury, unfortunately, to become full-time property investors, because we need to pay the bills, we need to buy food, we need to pay our own bonds or rent if we're renting somewhere, and some of us have kids and so on. So we don't have the luxury, unfortunately, of becoming full-time property investors yet. So we have busy lives, and we want to do all of that. But at the end of the day, building a property portfolio is about legacy. It's about building a pension fund for yourself that you're in control of, that you manage, and that has the capacity to not only bring you an income monthly, but also give you the growth potential of property. And that's really the reason why we are doing all of this, and why we are doing the 50-day challenge, in fact, to help the public see that it is possible.
Yes. I'm looking forward to further unpeeling this whole journey. And like I said, for me, it's been an interesting process, because as we discussed the previous time, that I've been looking at it as a specific property, and I've shared some deeper interest. And I do have some news for you. So I'm looking forward to sharing.
Okay. I like news. Okay, so let's get straight into it then. So I assume that's news on your impending transfer. What's going on?
So the property's on prep, and
hey.
Yes, so through various discussions with you, knowing that it takes about 5 days, I'm looking forward to just seeing everything solidify and be done. And I'm quite excited. I must admit, it's still scary, but it's a good start for me. And so I'm looking forward to seeing how the rest of this portfolio sort of pieces together eventually.
That is, oh wow, that's phenomenal. So the last time about 2 weeks ago, I think it was, we spoke about the fact that you had purchased, and that you had the money because you got some investors in, and you then put in the offer, and they were subject to nothing. So at the end of the day, they could immediately start the transfer process, and that helps a great deal, because there's only one process to follow. It's the actual transfer, and not also the bond process. So it's been about 2 weeks, I think, if I'm not mistaken, just over 2 weeks. And now it's on prep, which means that within the next 5 working days or so, if nothing goes wrong, because sometimes things go wrong, then chances are you most likely by next week sometime will have ownership of your first property. I am so very happy for you, and very proud that we as the EDPF could have been part of that.
No, listen, I'm very excited. And of course, it's due to the knowledge that we received and that I received. And just the encouragement. I think it's great, because obviously before I haven't really surrounded myself with people who are in these type of conversations. And so the EDPF community does help you sort of become a lot more affair with knowledge on property development, but also just to surround yourself with people who you can converse with on this level. I think it's always important to surround yourself with the people that you want to be like, that you aspire to, or people that are sort of on the same path, because they put your heads together and do great things. So I'm very excited.
Fantastic. All right, so wow, man, that's amazing. Okay, so the second thing that we're going to chat about today, you've also said that you've got another property. I think you said in the Karoo or something that you're looking at.
Yeah, just like something I've just been looking outside of my usual search patterns, just to see what. But of course, when looking at spaces like that, it's about understanding why you're wanting to purchase there and having sort of a really well plotted out journey and plan for the property. So I'm still looking around. I've always just aspired to have a big piece of land somewhere up country, just because I think you can do a lot with it, and it's always good to have land as well outside of a fixed property, a house or a flat.
Yeah, absolutely.
As it develops in the country, you never know when they might need that land, and somebody could buy you out, or I don't know. So I'm still on the search. Haven't found the exact property. There was one that I was interested in. I'm still waiting for more information on that. I like that one because it's an historical kind of monument to the area, and has a rich history from the Anglo-Boer War. And it would be cool to own something that has that kind of history, because what that means for tourism and people staying there, it's a nice value add, to have a property with a story that people might be interested in. But I'm still looking. Listen, I'm fresh in this game, so I don't want to just dive in and go crazy. But I am searching for. There are some nice new developments: 1-bedroom apartment, 2-bedroom apartments in the Pinelands. And so I'll be looking at that, because it's obviously a lot cheaper and a lot more amenities that come with that, because it's a community kind of that they're building, not just a complex. So there'll be new shops and new gyms, kind of thing. And so for a younger person who wants to rent somewhere, I think that's a lot more appealing. And so I'm split between the kind of market that I want to attract with the property in terms of what I want to do with it. So a lot more scribbling on my notebook to see where I'm headed. But nevertheless, it's still on. The search is still on.
So I tell you what, I've actually got 3 opportunities that may interest you. It's not exactly in line with your thinking on the Airbnb side, but potentially on a fixed rental kind of, where you have a fixed tenant for a year or two, and roll that over a period of time. So there's one opportunity that was brought to us in the Kenilworth area for just on R1 million.
Oh, wow.
2-bedroom unit, really well priced. Very nice fixtures and fittings and so on. Maybe need a little bit of work, but it probably won't cost more than like 30 or 50,000 rand to do maybe a new bathroom tiling and stuff like that. But it does look like a pretty decent option. I will send you the video of it. One of the agents that work with us, England Focus, have that. In fact, the funny thing about it is that the agent is actually a student in the EDPF program. So,
oh, wow.
So that's how she brings us opportunities. So I'm going to send you that one. And then I've also got a thing called the WYNNE, WYNNE. They've got opportunities where we as EDPF and our students have discounted, they've giving us a discount on the sale of the property. So anybody who's an EDPF student will be able to get this particular discount on their property. And then on top of that, it's also in an urban development zone. Now, urban development zones, what those are, is that government has given these tax incentives. When you buy in an urban development zone, or you build in an urban development zone, a new complex, or you do a big revamp, then you can write off 55% of your cost of purchasing that property over a period, I think between 10 and 20 years. I'm not sure what the exact period is, but you can write off 55% of
That's huge.
the cost. Now, effectively, what that means is that the receiver is funding you 55% of
Yes.
of the cost of your apartment. So instead of paying $595, which is the one 2-bedroom, sorry, no, it's not a 2-bedroom, it's a bachelor's unit, or sorry, a 1-bedroom unit that most of our students are looking at. Instead of paying $595, you're getting a nice discount there. I think it ends up being like $550. And then on top of that, with a 55% incentive over a period of 20 years, you can write off 55% against your income tax, which means that you don't pay any tax for a good couple of years.
Yeah.
And I see Tabaleng, Matt Alice joining us. So let me just admit her into the room quickly. But yeah, that's an opportunity. It's the one in sort of the Parow area, down Voortrekker Road. And I mean, that's a growing area down that corridor. The Voortrekker corridor is a massively growing area, and there's huge demand there. So there's an opportunity. I'm friends with the developer there.
Please do.
Yeah, I'll send you that one. And then there was another one that came across my desk, which so it's the one from the Kenilworth one, the one in Parow. And then we also have an opportunity that the Development Bank of South Africa has brought to us, where we want to put a couple of students into a consortium, what they call a special purpose vehicle. And I'll send you some information on that. You may be interested in that one as well, because that is for social housing and student accommodation, where they are saying that possibly they can fund the entire thing. If the students bring their sweat equity, their time, their energy, and their expertise to the project, then they will take that as their equity. So they call it sweat equity into the project, as opposed to putting cash in. So that's another way that I maybe didn't say about, remember that time we spoke about how do you raise capital? One of the ways is to put in sweat equity. And this is an opportunity that the Development Bank has brought to us. So there's some really nice opportunities that because you're on the program and you still have 3 more years to go, we can definitely look at that option as well. But I'll send you all of those. And hopefully before the end of this 50 days, you'll make a decision on which one to go for, and then we'll take the process further. Okay?
Please. Yeah, that'll be great. Thank you so much.
Fantastic, man. Hey there, Matthew. How are you doing?
Hi. How are you? I'm just trying to reconnect my camera.
No problem. I'm just going to say goodbye to Jared because he unfortunately only had half an hour for us. So, Jared, thank you very much for your time. We will see you again next week, hopefully with that good news of the transfer. And then the following week, we will wrap up completely for the 50 days. But we'll still walk a nice long journey with you that hopefully before you are done in this program by 2024, that you will have a portfolio, hopefully of about 5 million or even more. That's what I'm hoping for you before you leave this program. Okay.
Thank you so much, guys.
All right, awesome. Jared, thank you very, very much for your time. We'll see you again shortly. Okay.
Thank you, Meta.
Cool. Hey there, Tabaleng. Hi, Meta. How are you doing?
I'm well, thanks. How are you, Nigel? It's been a while.
Yeah, no, there's been a couple of days. Fortunately, Jared has been, he's given us some time over the last couple of days. And if you haven't seen a couple of weeks ago, I'm not sure if you were in that session, but he actually has bought his first property. He got some funds available through friends and family, and they could buy the property cash. And he just told me now that he's actually, the properties come up on PREP, which if you watched, that video that we did with if the public has watched that video that we did with Mayor, that's the last stage of transfer. And normally it takes about 5 days from the date it comes up on PREP before the transfer actually goes through. So we're hoping that next week he will be able to take transfer. That'll be phenomenal. But anyway, Matthew, I believe you've had some problems with your arm, so that's why we couldn't chat.
Trying to hide it here.
No need to hide things here. We're a family. We all want to know what's going on in your life.
Yeah, but I'm slowly in recovery. I only had the procedure done last week, Friday. So
Okay.
taking
okay.
it. I only started driving 2 days ago. So I'm just getting back on my feet with things. But luckily it's my left and I'm right-handed, so I can still do some stuff.
All right. Okay. So I'm not going to keep you too long for this session. I just want to quickly catch up with you and see, I know that the last couple of days have been awful because of your arm, but other than that, prior to that, you were busy looking at about 8 different units. And I really just want to catch up with you for this session on that. And then once we've done that, we can then talk about some other stuff at a later stage. But for now, where are you at with those 8 units? Have you narrowed them down? Have you made a decision? What's going on?
Yeah, I had narrowed them down to 4. And then fortunately, I lost one already. I think it was a cash buy or something like that. So, because the the 8, I had gone to V. In the 4 that I had viewed the 3, but one of them I've already lost to another. I don't know, maybe the offer was done a while ago or something, or it was a cash buy. So of my new top 3, I've only viewed 2, but there's just one more that I'm left to view. Because the other one that I had gone to, wasn't really up to scratch in terms of what I thought. So that's why it's always good to go view a place, because the pictures I think were done maybe when the place was fairly new. It looks a bit run down now. It's had a couple of tenants, I'm sure, over the years. So I don't think the agent refreshed the images, because it looked quite different. So I wasn't happy with that. So I completely scratched it out. So now I have this top 3 that I'm left with. And I think it's just a matter of, especially having had the session last time with Absa, I think now I'm just ready to, make my offer. So I've just been gathering all the documents that I'm going to need. Obviously, I got a bit slowed down, but there's a few stuff I need to send through. So I just needed to gather that on my side, especially some financial statements, because I will be proceeding with this property under my company as opposed to privately, because the other 2 are already on my name.
Yeah, so just to refresh the memory of the public, so the discussion with Adi at Absa Bank was that because you'd already purchased 2 properties, they'd be able to come in and fund this 3rd property on the basis of the very unique product that they have called the future rental income product. So if you didn't have enough cash flow, if you didn't have enough rental from your other properties, you'd be able to then utilize their product called the future rental income product in order to capitalize and purchase the 3rd property. So it's almost a shoe-in that you'd be able to get the funding from Absa Bank on this 3rd property that you want to buy.
Hopefully I get a good rate.
Listen,
that's also
you're an EDPF candidate. One of the things that the beauty of being an EDPF candidate is the fact that we can leverage the bulk buying power to get, for example, better insurance rates, better interest rates, better rates from service providers like architects, quantity surveyors, and so on, free access to Lightstone and TPN and all those kinds of things. So there is definitely an advantage to be part of the EDPF program, because if you weren't, number one, you wouldn't even have known about the Absa product. So there absolutely is that advantage. Okay, so I think, Ntabeling, let's talk about those 3 projects then, and let's see and go through them and see which one of them would be feasible to do, and maybe I can help you make a decision. Somebody reminded me of a saying last week. We buy property not with our hearts, we buy it with a calculator.
Yeah.
Oh, it was Maya that said it a couple of days ago. Maya said it in a session. And that's the thing, as an investor, you don't buy property with your heart. When you look at a property, oh, this looks beautiful, whatever. In fact, actually, I prefer to buy ugly properties that nobody else will want to buy. because that gives you the opportunity to negotiate a better price, fix it up to the standard that you want, and then be able to either sell it at a better price or rent it out at a higher price. So I'm always out looking for the bad properties, not the good ones. But as Maya said, as an investor, you buy with a calculator, not your heart. As a person looking for a place to live, you buy with your heart, not the calculator. So depending on what your thought process is for the property, if you're an investor, which you are, you're buying with a calculator. So let's pull out our calculator and let's work on those three units. So let's look at unit number 1. What's the purchase price for that unit and which area is it in?
That unit it's going for 420.
Okay.
It's a 2-bedroom.
Okay.
It also has a very spacious lounge area.
Okay.
It has a bathroom, bath and shower, separate toilet, which I like. It's a 1.5, so meaning there's a toilet in the bathroom and a toilet separate.
Okay.
And it's about 78 square meters.
That's a good size. Yeah.
And then, so currently in the area for a 2-bedroom in Arcadia, you're looking at an estimated rental of about 7,000, right? That's
okay, so
without
just let me can see it. The private property website, Arcadia. And looking for a 2-bedroom, share that. So the rental. So I've gone to the private property website. I've clicked on rent. And I'm now filtering price from say 5,000 to say 15,000. You remember Ben told us always to go above what we think because we don't wanna miss opportunity maybe after our cutoff. And then we don't want to go house. We only want to go flats and apartments. No land, no farms, no townhouses, no clusters. And we want to go 2 bedrooms plus. How many bathrooms did you say?
1.5.
Okay, so let's call it 2 then. Garages?
Garages, let me remember. It had 1 covered parking.
Okay,
and then
that's fine.
Yeah.
Oh, so actually, no, there's garages, any but 1 covered parking. Okay. And yeah, okay, so that's enough in terms of the filter. So let's apply the filters. So there are 6 properties. There's a 3-bedroom for 8,000, 2-bedroom for 8,700, a 2-bedroom for 8,950, a 2-bedroom for 9,000, a 2-bedroom for 7,200, a 2-bedroom for 8,800. So roughly in the 8,000 to 9,000 range is where you can rent your property. So let's put a stop to that. So basically you're saying that the property is how much? 400, 420?
420, yeah.
Okay.
That's the
asking price. So let's say you can secure the thing for 400,000. And so the legal costs, let's say there's another 30,000 that you have to pay there. So it ends up costing you 430. All right. Now let's assume you don't have any deposit. Let's assume it's 100% bond, and you only will then pay the legal fees. So the bond's going to be 400,000 rand. On a bond of 400,000 rand, again, let's quickly go to I should have just stayed there. Let's go to the private property app again. And let's see about bond. So bond, let's click on bond calculator. So you can do everything on the private property app, which is fantastic. Actually, let's just Google, sorry. Bond calculator, private property. Okay. Here we go. Bond repayment calculator. So it's 400, 1, 2, 3, deposit 0. And let's say they give you prime plus 1. So make it 8.75 over 20 years. Calculate. So your bond repayment is going to be 3,471 rand. Did you ask how much the levies are there?
The levies, they are going for I actually have it. Let me just open my journal because I have all their
Okay, cool,
numbers.
fantastic.
The levies for this one are 1.6.
1.6, so that's 4.6, that's 5,000 Rand total cost. And let's say the rates are about 500 Rand. It's going to be a lot less than that, but let's just say. So that means, yeah, sorry?
Be 250, 300 already on another.
300, okay. Let's call it 300 then. Okay. So your total cost, 3.5 plus 1.6, it's 5 plus 300, that's 5,300 Rand is your total cash output on a monthly basis. If your rental is even at the lowest of 7,200 that we saw, you're already cash flow positive. I want in on that deal. Let's do that deal together. Let's get that deal done together. It's a nice deal. That's, I mean, even if it's in terrible condition, you can spit in a polish, put some new tiles in, spend another 30 or 40,000 Rand on it.
As well, this unit is fully tiled. I think it was recently painted as well, so there's quite minimal work there. The only thing that I saw that I might need to do is potentially get a new stove for the unit.
Okay, and that's normally about 4,500, 5,000 Rand, so that's not a huge cost towards the thing. So I would say this is definitely, I mean, you're already there, you'll be cash flow positive by about, that's what we say, 5.3. So 8,000 minus 5.3, you'll easily be able to make 2,700 Rand profit on that deal every single month. In fact, that's cash flow, not profit. Your profits are even higher because your bond has a capital portion to it. So definitely that's a deal to do. The second deal, which area is that one in?
Also the same area.
Also Arcadia, okay. Also 2-bedroom?
No, this one is a 2.5.
Oh, okay.
Pretty much the same. This one is priced for 425 actually.
Okay. So you could even do the same deal on this one and make 1,000 Rand extra income.
The properties I found are like pretty much almost the same spec. You know, they're not too far. Yeah.
All right. And are these properties already let, or are they? Do you still have to find a tenant?
My top 2 are already let, and it's tenants that have stayed there for quite some time, so they're also happy to continue staying there, but obviously I'd create a new lease agreement for them.
Okay. All right. I tell you what, doubling, Matt L.
Yes.
Let's do both deals. Why the hell not?
Why not?
Why not? Let's do both deals. Let's go in. Let's go make an offer on both deals, and we'll get the funding from Absa. I'm being serious. I'm not even joking. Let's do this deal. Okay. So I tell you what, I'm actually going to stop this conversation now, and you're going to use the rest of the time that we had allocated to make those 2 phone calls and say to the agents that we are ready to make those offers. And then let's get the offers in before the end of this week. Follow our journey, 50-day property challenge with Private Property and Enterprise Development Property Fund and the EDPF Property Academy. Watch all the videos between myself, Jared and Matt L over the last 8 weeks that we've been at this now, and for the next 2 weeks to come as we close off the 50-day challenge. But don't just watch, implement what we are teaching you, and you too can become a property investor. So thank you very much, Matt L. Thank you to the public. Thank you to Private Property. We'll see you again very soon.